Alrighty guys, we're back for Big Green, and this is an Outlaws of Thunder Junction standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. Check out this curve, guys. Look at this. Oh, buddy, average 4.3. 13, 6+ cards. Well, why on earth am I doing that? Well, we have like Greater Tanuki in here. It has that channel ability for 2 and a green. You discard Greater Tanuki, you search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So we can kind of rearrange that. It'll be a very similar concept here with Spinewoods Armadillo too. So the 6 mana 7/7 reach ward 3. Okay. Now for 1 and a green, you discard Spinewoods Armadillo. Search your library for a basic land card or a desert card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. You gain 3 life, and I think that life gain is going to go the extra mile. So we can kind of rearrange this too as a 2-drop kind of sort of, right? And we still have a pretty hefty top end here with a couple of Vaultborn Tyrants. That's going to do a thing. We got all 4 Tyrranax Rex. Oh my goodness. Everything I play is getting countered, and this cannot be countered. Beautiful. Speaking of which, over in the mana base, I do have a Cavern of Souls. You're going to call dinos every now and then too, but remember, like, that Tyrranax Rex can't be countered anyway, so there are going to be other moments where you might play this out and call, like, Rhino or something just to get your Brawler onto the board without being countered. It'll be the same thing for any other type in here. We got a couple of Vorinclex here too, grabbing some basic forests, putting it into our hand. That's going to do a thing. We got Silverback Elder too. We don't get to see this one too often. It's a 5 mana, 5/7. When you cast a creature spell, you choose one of these. You can destroy target artifact or enchantment. That'll come in handy. Or look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So even more ramp. Now this is like mid-game ramp, but you never know when you're going to do that. But then also you could choose just gain 4 life. And again, all that extra life gain is going to go the extra mile, period. Yeah, it's going to be interesting as a one of, huh? Now we also have more ramp packed in. Of course, we have all 4 Topiary Stompers. It's going to be pretty easy to get 7 lands on the board. At least I think, at least I hope, right? We have 27 land in here and a whole bunch of ways to grab land out of the deck too. So I think we'll be fine. I think swinging with the Stomper is going to be easy peasy. Or in the meta's case, blocking with the Stomper is going to be easy peasy, right? More ramp with Azusa's many journeys as well. And the second chapter, of course, gains us even more life. Dude, I'm telling you, all that extra life gain, gonna go that extra mile. Just that one extra turn that we survive could be the turn where we drop all the big stuff onto the board. And of course, we do have all 4 Smuggler Surprise. Trying it out once again. It's a 1 green mana instant speed, which is wild to me. So it's a spree card. You choose 1 or more additional costs. So the top additional cost here is just +2. Mill 4 cards. You may put up to 2 creature and or land cards from among the milled cards into your hand. Okay. Now the middle ability is what it's really in here for though. For the additional cost of 4 and a green, you may put up to 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Imagine just dropping a couple Tyrranax Rex onto the board all of a sudden. Like, it has that haste, man. It has ward 4, so the opponent's going to really struggle to remove it. The toxic 4 is no joke, too. Just like everything about Rex, you do end up pulling off a couple of them with the surprise. That's pretty wild. But pretty much anything on the top end, all of these huge, chunky creatures, man, any 2 of them hitting the board at the same time is just going to do way too much, huh? So as another additional cost here at the bottom for just +1, creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Pretty good too, man. Let's have Green Sun's Twilight to kind of do the same thing as Smuggler's Surprise, only grab them from the deck instead. I think it's going to be worth the one of in here. Some more cards that I didn't actually go over yet. We do have Outcaster Trailblazer here to potentially help us restock our hand. It also acts as a little bit of ramp too, especially if you end up plotting this on your turn 3 too. And then here on the top end, we do have Ghalta Stampede Tyrant as a one of, the 8 mana 12/12 that we don't get to see too often. It is a legendary creature. It does have trample, but when it ETBs, you put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Beautiful, man. So similar concept, man. If you hit this with like a Smuggler Surprise or a Green Sun's Twilight, and you get Ghalta onto the board, and you get like multiple Tyrranax Rexes as well, or even just like a Tyrranax Rex and a Tyrant as well. Like these dinos just slamming onto the board, it could really do a thing. Now, something really important to note, of course, too, is Hopefully you're not going to miss these big chunky creatures too often on the surprise and stuff, since a lot of our big chunky creatures are also doubling as ways to grab land out of the deck too. So you're not too sad if you just hit a couple armadillos off of the Smuggler's surprise too, especially at instant speed. You could do it at the end of the opponent's turn. So that's very noteworthy, huh? Also in the mana base, guys, we do have a Blast Zone and a Who Endures as well, 24 for some honorable mentions. Pretty sure like all of these almost made the cut. We have Tranquil Frillback, Hulking Raptor. We do have Kaslim in the honorable mentions, as well as Earthshaker Dreadmaw. Could have been a cool way to restock our hand. Titan of Industry kind of feels underplayed all the time, and I always bring that up, but didn't make the cut this time for some reason. Okay, guys, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked and see how we do. Okay, we'll see if we can get right into that first game here. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the list? I have no clue, dude. Last time I played green, it was mono green aggro, and it was really good. Now this time it's mono green mid-range for sure, or mono green ramp if you want to consider it that too. Opponent goes first here. Okay, lots we could draw into. Even more mana wouldn't be terrible. We just definitely need some ways to survive early on. For 3 extra life on the Armadillo. All right, we'll give this a shot, man. I think this is totally worth testing this hand. Land. Okay, that's something we want to see. Now, what we don't want to see is a blue source from the opponent. Yeah, because counter spells on like the surprise and stuff is particularly bad. But luckily, I guess, you know, Rex in hand, I guess if they do go blue source, then at least we have that Rex. It's gonna be a forest. Okay, Armadillo's ability is available at instant speed. We get to keep that open. So Jund should be scary. Yeah, all we got to do is get 6 land on the board and then have a Smuggler's surprise with a Rex and a Vaultborn Tyrant. And that's all I need. At that point, I don't even need to win. I just think that's cool enough for me, you know? Stomper, all right, some 5 color. I've been actually having a really hard time against 5 color builds, and some of the reason is for the last week especially. I don't know when this video is going up, but at some point, at some point especially, I've just been playing really poorly around it. Okay. Also, I want to keep an eye out to see if they rock the Cavern of Souls as well, and if they call Angel on it. Because I saw that recently, and I was like, wait a minute. Is that like a thing that they do? Is that a card that they play for Atraxa and everything? And it makes so much sense when you think about it. Like they're gonna flip this Invasion of Zendikar right away here. Turn 3 Stomper, turn 4 Zendikar. That is ideal ramp for sure. Hopefully we don't see mana off the top. We definitely need something from our early plays here. That is a threatening board state, and Atraxa is going to come down anytime now. Greater Tanuki, and it's a little bit of ramp. It's not bad. That'll get us to 6 next turn. Go ahead and keep the channel open for their turn. Well, hopefully they don't have some kind of like fancy counter for the channel. It has to be fancy, I know that much. I don't know how it has to read the counter channel abilities, but it is possible. It's hard though. Yeah, they got 8 on the board. So we're not dead yet, but I'll tell you what, if that Atraxa hits, we're in big trouble. I was making sure I was thinking correctly with the Greater Tanuki. I think it is still better to hold open for the opponent's turn. And at this point, they're probably wondering what the heck is happening, because we only did the Armadillo this game, nothing else. We could have mulliganed too, but I don't know. It's not too bad. Ooh. I guess they go plus on the Nissa here. Just start generating some tokens. And they ended up tapping down the Awakened Skyclave for that as well. Go for the swing. Yeah, I guess we'll take the 4 first, then we'll do the Greater Tanuki. At the end here. Up the Beanstalk. That's something to consider for this build, right? Maybe that should have been in the honorable mentions. Mana value 5 or greater. That's a lot of things in here, isn't it? That could be a great way to keep our hand nice and stocked. So now we have to... Oh, Ghalta. Hi there, buddy. So with Nissa on the board, we have to consider Smuggler's Surprise on our turn and then swing Tyrranax Rex at the Nissa. They do have a double block that hits well enough though, huh? Sunfall next turn would be devastating. I think we wait for the swing. Oh crap, dude. This is going to be rough. They have blue as well. They could easily counter the Smuggler's Surprise. So Ghalta, Vaultborn Tyrant, Tyrranax Rex comes down. We're drawing, we're restocking our hand. We swing at the Nissa, we take out 2 of their blockers. They go Sunfall, but we drew 2. Okay, dude. Yeah, we do it on our turn, huh? That's a tough decision, but if we pass, they have open blue. It gets countered. That's just not what we want, you know? So we go Vaultborn Tyrant and Ghalta. This is sick. Oh man, we might see another Rex too. Stomper. Okay, well, let's do it. Let's do all of it. We might as well, right? We're running right into the Sunfall. Draw 2. How cool is this, dude? We're going up. Blast Zone and Armadillo. We got a lot of land in hand. Alright, we'll swing at that Nissa, see what they do. I'm pretty sure they double block. Keep the Nissa around. Oh! They might not have Sunfall in hand, guys. This is a lot of land. Oh, there's Sunfall. Well, I'm surprised they let the Nissa die then, right? I'm surprised by that. That was so cool. I'm not even mad. I'm disappointed. That's what. We knew it was coming. We knew that the you know, that these decks run Sunfall. But man, that was so cool. Oh my goodness. We would have seen. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain what else we wanted to see there. Stomper's pretty good. We have 5 remaining. I think we're just gonna go for the ward on Armadillo. No, I'm gonna thin the deck, and then we're gonna go Blast Zone. Extra counters from the Blast Zone. Yeah, thinning the deck at this point, like, I mean, come on, we gotta get these land out of here. We have 27, but it feels like way more. Blast Zone doesn't hit the tokens because it comes in with the counter, unfortunately, but I think getting it to... Oh, Leyline Binding. Maybe getting it to 6 wouldn't be bad because, you know, Leyline Binding's a 4 of in these builds. We get a good swing here. They power up. Yep. They got 11 on the board now. We could get Blast Zone to 3. Yeah, I don't know exactly where I want to get this. They might play more here from hand too. Archangel. Alright, let's go ahead and get the Blast Zone. We'll give it 2 extra counters here. Getting it to 3 is a safe bet for now. Getting it to 4 only clears up Archangel. Yeah, Azusa's Many Journeys. That's not bad. A little late, but it's not bad. Like, that's some of the early game stuff that we just wouldn't have minded having at all. 7/7 Reach, Ward 3. The Reach plays really well around the Archangel. We still have the Blast Zone if we want to power up another counter on that too. Other than that, we can't sacrifice it because that's 3 in a tap, and we do not have that available. Still really cool, man. It's like I said, I've been really struggling against the 5-color builds. They seem very well optimized. They definitely do the thing. There was a little while there where I wasn't having any trouble, like a couple months ago. Like a 5-color build would we'd go up against it, and I actually just wasn't sweating. You know what I mean? But right now, it just feels incredibly optimized. Been really struggling against it. How about you guys? Let me know in the comments for sure. Has it just always been a problem for you? Yeah, Traxa restock the hand. Looks like they do reveal a Sunfall, unfortunately. There's going to be, well, like, we're going to need so much to get around this. We do have a great block into the Atraxa, but then, like, second Atraxa can come down too, and there it is right there. A Sunfall, Leyline Binding. Yep, getting Blast Zone to 6 won't be terrible. We actually only have one more turn. They do have 14 on the board. I suppose there could be something that deals the last 2 to us, but I don't know what that would be outside of another Archangel, which they don't have right now. So we are going to be gaining 3. We'll go back up to 5 off of this too. They are going to have to pay the ward, so they are tapping out completely here. Ward is 3. Pretty cool card, isn't it, man? Spinewoods Armadillo. I like it. It's uncommon. That makes sense. Like, it's not like overpowered. I just really like that discard ability being on this too. That ward 3 really actually makes it quite effective. Okay, so they pick that up. We'll go ahead and put the counter onto the blast zone at 4. Charge counter. At 4, unfortunately, we will not be able to take out the bindings, but land off the top. Ew. So we'll get it up to 6 because that's pretty much all we can do, right? And unfortunately, that taps the blast zone, so you can't activate that ability on the same turn. Unless you have something fancy that untaps land, like the Likeness of the Seeker, huh? Maybe. That's the whole reason it's in here. Yeah. We'll go ahead and let the opponent swing in. Something tells me they don't get to get this final swing in very often, huh? Drop them the good game. If they do take too long, though, I'll drop the concede. Although I like to let the opponents play it out in case they have quests and stuff, too. There they go. We flood that game? Probably not. We have 27 mana. Let's take a double check this graveyard here. Okay, yeah, no land there. So we ended up, like, playing all the land that we ended up seeing, right? So 1, 2, 9, 13. So we didn't even see half of our mana. But also 37 cards remaining in the deck. So we didn't even see half the deck either. Something we really want to consider, up the Beanstalk. I don't know why I overlooked this, at least for the honorable mentions. Maybe as a one-of in this deck could be really cool. If we do have trouble, like in that game there, right? We were having trouble restocking our hand after the Vaultborn has already done the thing. The 2 main ways to restock the hand in here is the Vaultborn and the our 3-drop that I haven't learned the name of completely yet. But that is another one. We didn't really see any of our early stuff. I think had we seen some of our early stuff, we might have been able to put the pressure on. Either way, the Sunfall was going to come down on time, I would say. Outcaster Trailblazer is the other way to restock our hand. There it is. Okay. Unfortunately, the opponent goes first, and the first thing we're able to do is on turn 3, but I think it's an all-right hand. I think we still keep it. Maybe 27 mana is too much when we're grabbing so much out of the deck. The thing here is, right, I think we're going to want to see a land every single turn. I think we're going to always want to ramp on the many journeys on turn 2 no matter what. I'd say the Trailblazer is the pick. What do you guys think? I think the Trailblazer is the pick. Although Greater Tanuki ramps that, well, so does Trailblazer. Kind of, right? So nothing really picks up the deep cavern bat. We are just going, we're going big and nothing else. Like, we don't have We don't have any removal outside the Blast Zone, and the Blast Zone's in here specifically to deal with like decks that spam out the 1-drops. Azusa's Many Journeys, right on time. Very beautiful. Very nice. I'll tell you what, second Deep Cavern Bat would be a little devastating as they take the surprise away. Although we don't have extra creatures in hand right now anyways. Gain 3, that's what we like to see. We have ramp on the Tanuki, and that might not be the best bet. We could put counter on Blast Zone, get that to 2, and maybe get this Outcaster back. Either way, I want to make sure we... Yeah, I think it's going to be Blast Zone for the turn over the ramp on the Tanuki, because the more creatures we get rid of in hand... Blast Zone, if we get it up to 2, it's going to take out our Likeness, isn't it? Because that counts as a 2-mana card, I think. Oh, crap, dude. They are going to completely restock their hand here. That is not good news. We could mill. Oh, that is not good. That is not good news at all. Okay, stay on task. Put a charge counter. Let them do their draws. It's totally fine. I'm going to do it now because sometimes it drives me nuts that, like, we hold open the opponent's turn. You know what I mean? Until the end. Good practice, though, to wait till the end. We just have nothing else for the rest of the turn anyways. It's good practice, too, because it could change, like, whether or not the opponent's doing this. But they were definitely going to lose 3 and draw 3 there. I don't think there is any question about it. Okay, so we have Blast Zone available. Hopefully they play some stuff before the swing, but probably not. Maybe we get a good block with the Likeness before we pop everything. We could still ramp on Tanuki. More land is just not great, is it? Might have to make some changes in the middle of this video, guys. We might need to drop down to 26, as it does feel like it's at 27. It's too much right now. Holy cow, Bloodletter. Alright, let's see where they end up swinging here. We do get the block with the Gix. And then we can go... So Likeness is a 2-mana card, right? I'm pretty sure it has the mana value from the front of the card. I hope. What if I'm wrong? So we want this to go through. We're going to take a whole bunch of damage, double that. Double that damage. Wait a minute. Double 6 is 12. We are forced to activate this beforehand anyway, so I guess we'll find out if it's a 2-mana card right now. It sure is. Luckily, we got the block beforehand, and then we take 4 from the Cult Conscript there. Brutal, brutal stuff, and we go back down to just having 5 mana on this board. Cavern of Souls, don't really know what to call on that right now. Smuggler's Surprise not hitting. Yeah, since we had to use our land, we just don't have the 6 mana to actually do the fun thing anyways. The fun thing, of course, getting Trailblazer and Tanuki down on the same turn. Getting that card draw there could be really good. 2, 3. I guess we have the mill. So I guess we could go... Trailblazer. Call green, do the mill, and then die next turn. At that point, too, I guess, like, just ramping on the Tanuki could be good, too. But since we don't have enough creatures in hand, we just do this on the Smuggler's Surprise. Holy cow, there's our top end. Wow. Okay, so Rex and Brawler. But unfortunately, we're dead to the full swing. Regardless, it's 8 damage total. Right, GG opponent. Really deadly mono black lineup here. Also Trespasser doing a couple extra damage too before the swing. Might have spot removal for a Trailblazer. They do not. It's going to be Sleeper. Still, they could have like dropped the Go for the Throat too. Look at how deadly this looks, dude. I think even if we ramped well enough, we would have been in serious trouble. Seeing mana when we didn't want to see it. Blast Zone being our only removal. Do I want to make any mid-video changes? 24 minutes in. Not yet, not yet. Let's go one more. Let's see how it draws. I believe in this ramp curve. I do. I think that it should ramp out nice and fluid. We go down to 26. There's a big problem where on turn 2 you might miss with an Azusa's many journeys, right? Or you might have a turn 3 many journeys because you top deck it later on. And we're not all just relying on the many journeys, of course, but... Uh-oh, guys. Uh-oh, maybe 27 is too much. We go first, though. I'm going to keep this. Call me crazy. For this build, too, I brought this up in a previous deck list, but we might want to find a better balance between Smuggler's Surprise and Green Sun's Twilight, too. Just trying to find more off the top versus more in hand. Mano. It's definitely worth thinning the deck here. Oh, they play Swift Spear after the Kamano. We will go ahead and activate this now. Maybe they didn't decide on what they were playing yet for the turn, right? Yeah, thinning out the deck, we already have a ton of mana. We don't need any more mana. We might do Smuggler's Surprise just to find some creatures here, guys. Like, I think I'm saving this too often. Ooh, Illuminator Virtuoso. Very nice. Still got a swing. Yeah, I'm saving the Surprise too often here for the 6 mana. Like, we have 4 of them in here too, so let's get that mill. Let's grab a couple things. Stomper, Ghalta, another Spinewood. That helps us thin. Ghalta's great. We're too far from it, especially against Boros. We're going to grab the Stomper and the Armadillo, unfortunately. And I think that's totally fine. With Stomper... Oh, Green Sun's Twilight is excellent. Yeah, the Armadillo was the grab because of the life gain, but also if we don't end up doing it, it's not a bad turn 6 either. It blocks really well. Green Sun's Twilight for X is 5. We could do that next turn. All we got to do is survive a couple turns and let the life gain do the thing on the Tyrant too. Against a Virtuoso build, though, they could easily have a lot of white spot removal here. Holy cow, guys. Oh. Triple Swift Spear, Homestead Courage. Are we gonna die? No, we're not dead yet, but we take like 16 damage. Oh crap, guys. And I thought this was gonna be the match where we had the chance. Oh no. Oh no. Well, we have the Armadillo blocker. I guess the only chance here is like Green Sun's Twilight for 5. Grab a land, have the blocker from the Stomper, and look at all this land on top too. Vorinclex is not a bad hit, but we just took way too much damage last turn. Battlefield for sure. 2 blockers. Thin out this deck further. And after this game, I do think we have to consider dropping to 26, guys. I think that this many games in a row where the majority of our hand has just been forest, I guess we have to do that. If the opponent saw less Swift Spears, they could have seen more other explosive things anyways. But it's not like, oh, we got so unlucky because triple Swift Spear. You know what I mean? It's not like that at all. It's definitely like they could have just seen more explosion onto the Virtuoso or anything like that for that matter. So the trample gets through there regardless. So we could just block, drop them the GGs in return. I think they already dropped it. Let the first strikes do the thing. 3 losses in a row. Very, very rough games, huh? We are definitely having trouble with this curve. Let's go ahead, mid-video change. Let's drop a land. There's a big problem, man. You need to see mana like every single turn with this. But since we're grabbing it out of the build anyways... Okay. We will drop the land. and it's going to be a forest. That's down to 26. And we're going to go up. Not land, hold on. Maybe it's just some, maybe a Bushwhack? That's kind of funny, right? Because we just grab more land with the Bushwhack, but at least it's removal then, and it's removal that works really well with Stomper and stuff too. Give that a shot. Let's do it. I thought for sure that this was going to be one of those decks where we could just like skip the whole concept of removal, survive a couple extra turns on life gain, and then just drop the big things and just win, right? But it's really not showing itself to be that style of deck. So one piece of removal, that'll do the thing, right? Okay, now we have 26 mana, so double Azusa's many journeys. We go first, actually. I'm going to keep it. The 4 land in the opener should be completely fine here. With double Azusa's many journeys, funny enough, we wouldn't mind seeing 5 in the opener, as it is incredible ramp. And then we do the same thing next turn, but now if we don't see the extra land, we don't have the extra ramp. So it's probably just going to be Stomper then instead. Because Stomper puts it onto the board and gets us that one step closer. Never mind. I don't want Stomper to get countered right now. Let's get Azusa's many journeys down and get these flipping sooner. And it lands, because it could have been like an open make disappear too. So we can't complain too much. Like, if we saw the 5th land, we would have had less creatures in hand anyway. So, like, there's a fine line. There's a balance to be had here. Temporary lockdown right on time, dude. That would have picked up our Stomper, too. That would have been pretty brutal, actually. Now we just go for maximum ramp possible. Spinewoods Armadillo was great. And grab that. Stomper. Stomper comes down, ramps us even further. We have a really good hand, a really solid lineup. Land off the top means Vaultborn. No land off the top means Green Sun's Twilight. Unfortunately, we might be running right into a counterspell here. Okay. I like Outcaster Trailblazer. We just plot that up for the turn. We don't worry about the counter then. I'm okay with that. Playing the long game, I suppose. We'll see if the opponent drops like a Wandering Emperor or anything. You know what, man? I haven't been running into a lot of Wandering Emperor, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe the opponents just aren't drawing it recently. But there's no way that they'd like dropped it out of these lists, right? Because it's just so good. It's gotta be. Gotta be. Okay, march for 3. Get that Stomper out of here, says the opponent. Wait, opponent, are you sure you don't want to go march for 3 on your temporary lockdown instead? That would be helpful. Okay, Blast Zone, and we start with Trailblazer. 5 open mana, guys. This is very much a Sunfall style build. Spot removal for the Trailblazer. Okay. Still got 3 open mana. I think it's going to be Tyrant. With 3 open mana, we have to just like know that it's a counterspell. They got 4 cards remaining in hand. But Green Sun's Twilight, like maxing out that X ability and just picking something instead. Like we could find another Tyrant, for example. But I think it's Tyrant for the turn. And I know one thing, we don't just want to pass it back. Oh my goodness. Tyrant is on the board, guys. It must be more spot removal then, right? I guess we'll try the map, but like spot removal on Tyrant is pretty bad unless it's exile removal. And just like dropping a Sunfall for 1 Tyrant too, that isn't necessarily great for the opponent. So far, I am happy that we did a mid-video switch up for the deck here, dropping a land, going up a Bushwhack. Like, it's funny because it still grabs the land, but like it makes a lot of sense, right? I don't think we want 25 land. I'm pretty sure we always want land all the time. With 6 mana open. Farewell. All right, there's the exile. It is, in fact, a 1-for-1 trade. No, they took our map token too, but they gave us that map token anyways. We got 3 cards in hand. Max out this Green Sun's Twilight and just go for it, huh? What do you guys think? X is 7. See what we see. I mean, they're tapped out. Now's the time. Wow. This is going to be a really tough decision, man. Vaultborn is so good against control, I think, but like they do have more exile removal packed into their list probably. Ghalta would be ideal if we had more in hand. Be Ghalta into Armadillo, and then they just drop Sunfall and just not even worry about it. There's probably Tyrranax Rex, just so we can actually get some damage off and start threatening the opponent here, right? Unfortunately, it's only one thing. I think it's Rex. I do. That's really tough, though. Really tough. All right, we get them down to 12. I mean, we haven't been able to do anything else, so... we'll see, we'll see. The Rex also has an incredible ward on it as well. It's going to be White Sun's Twilight for 5. Oh, man. Now, Blast Zone doesn't hit those because it starts with that 1 counter. Blast Zone to 3 to think about the temporary lockdown, but now we're going to have to worry about poison, and we don't even need the life gain anymore. So we need to get a blocker down, right? And we need to start establishing a potential blocker here. And again, the life gain just not doing anything against poison. Okay. We got no way of putting a counter on the Blast Zone for the turn. We could have if I didn't play the Many Journeys, but it's the same concept. Once we pop the temporary lockdown, we're going to have to wait a little bit for the likeness. Oh, get lost. Yeah, we have officially been controlled, huh? I suppose we could see... another Rex off the top, but the opponent doesn't die to that, so... we'll see what's on top here. About 37 minutes in. We still have time for a few more, and I still believe in the deck. I do. Oh, Smuggler's Surprise. This could be a surprise, huh? Well, at this point, though, we die next turn. What if their last card in hand is just like, no more lies? See, we have 1, 2... Wait, how much land do I have? I have 10. I have 10 total. We do all of it. Yeah, why not, huh? I guess why not would be playing around in No More Lies, but at that point, too, we'd need to have 3 open, and either way, we're going to be paying 8, so we're only going to have 2 open anyway. So yeah, let's do it. Everything. All of it. Boom. Smuggler's Surprise. Come on, big things, big things. Oh, not that great, huh? Actually, that is pretty great. I don't know what I'm complaining about. We put these into our hand. Use up to 2, and then we put them onto the board. Unfortunately, Vorinclex doesn't have haste or anything, but at that point, that's really cool, man. What we see on top with the map token. Smuggler's Surprise. Man, I really feel like this this deck could have done a lot more today. Hold on just a minute. If they don't have... Wait a minute. Yeah, we could swing for 10. That's 4 more poison, and then they swing for 4. If they don't have removal for Vorinclex, we're alive. And then we threaten lethal next turn. If we keep 2 back, we're still potentially alive, even if they... Yeah, whatever, man. Let's swing. Let's swing. I think I'm thinking into it too much. I think we need to threaten lethal next turn, period. And so... Oh, guys? Did it happen? I think it happened. Oh my goodness. We did it. They did not have removal for the Vorinclex. So the big thing here is, right, like, we just took the risk. We took the gamble. Like, if they had removal, it just, like, whatever, we died anyways, you know what I mean? So we swung, we threatened lethal for the next turn, and it worked. I can't believe it. Okay, dude, you know what, man? This deck is so cool, but like it really, really struggled today, huh? Let's go talk about it again. Um, where am I? Where am I? Let's go to the decks. A little bit taken aback that we actually got there. That was cool, man. That was cool. Okay. Here's the deck list again, guys. Glad we dropped to 26. I would not go back up to 27. Based on how we were drawing, that was really, really bad. Couple things, honestly. Let's think about this, right? Like if that wasn't Vorinclex in that last game, if it was Railway Brawler instead, the Tyrranax Rex would have come in and gotten 8 counters. It would have been 16-16. That still wasn't enough to take out the opponent as they were at 17. Still, that's really noteworthy when you do have really explosive late game things like that. When you've ramped so much and you actually have 10 mana on the board, then you do these huge plays with Smuggler Surprise, mill the cards and grab them and just like give them all hexproof and indestructible too. Why not, right? The big thing is they don't have haste, which is why Tyrranax Rex is the 4 of in here. This is kind of important, and having haste is important in the current meta where next turn you just have to know that Sunfall is going to drop, and that is very much what happens. Or in that game too, Farewell too, right? That was rough. Temporary Lockdown, taking out our many journeys. These Likeness of the Seekers would have been really good for us that game. Eventually they would have been taken out by the Farewell anyways, so that's noteworthy. I talked about maybe finding a better balance between Green Sun's Twilight and the Smuggler's Surprise, but in that game especially, we saw why Smuggler's Surprise is the 4 of and Green Sun's Twilight is not the 4 of, right? Still, though, you get to see a lot more with Green Sun's Twilight for less, whereas Smuggler's Surprise, if we didn't have all that excess mana, well, I mean, that's kind of the point of the deck. The point of the deck is to get a lot of that excess mana onto the board, too. Bushwhack was probably still a good addition in that last game too. If you are up against control, you're probably just grabbing a land with this anyways. I would keep it. I would keep it. And there's another card that we have to consider, which was up the Beanstalk. When Up the Beanstalk enters the battlefield, and whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, you draw a card. This could be a great way to continuously restock our hand. But the big problem here is it doesn't help us survive the early game. What would we drop for this? Maybe like one of the Vorinclex. I would still keep Vorinclex. And Vorinclex is one of those things too where we could pay the 8 mana to flip this into the Grand Evolution. We get that insane mill of 10 cards, put 2 creature cards from among the milled cards onto the battlefield. When you flip Vorinclex and you hit a couple of these Tyrranax Rex, again, 4 of these for a reason, kind of our main top end here, because yeah, we're trying to see a couple of these off of a lot of these plays and then just swing in and win that turn. So that makes sense. And then like the survival on the Vaultborn Tyrant, because you're getting your face beat in by the opponent the entire game and you're just barely hanging on with the life gain. And then finally you get the play with the Vaultborn Tyrant off a Smuggler's Surprise, get that down with another big thing, and now you're gaining 6 and drawing 2, restocking your hand. You got these big old chunky blockers. Man, if you guys can't tell, I'm actually really excited about this list. It's really too bad that it didn't do a little bit better today, but with how it felt, I think there might actually be a way to kind of, you know, tweak this up a little bit and actually make it good. I don't know, probably add another color at that point, right? I could see like, oh man, I don't know. There's a lot of routes we could take with this. We could go Gruel, add ways to give our things haste, swing in that way, right? Bitter Reunion, stuff like that. We could go Selesnya for better spot removal, better ways to survive a little bit longer. We could go Golgari, same concept with the spot removal. Well, same concept in general as Selesnya, honestly. We go green, but first of all, I called it big green for a reason. I wanted to specifically go mono green. At some point, I do want to revisit this concept, though. I do like the couple Greater Tanukis. I definitely like the 4 Spinewoods Armadillos. I actually really like this. I like the one of Ghalta. I think the 2 Vaultborn's fine. How many of these do I have? I only have 2. It is a legendary from the big score, of course, so very expensive. Or mythic, I mean to say. I think I said legendary there right now. It's a mythic from the big score. Do we want more of these? I actually really liked this. I'm personally not going to craft a third one, I don't think, unless there's like a deck that desperately needs more of these for some reason. I end up cracking more out of a pack, I suppose. Outside of that, what would we drop for a third one? I don't know. Like, not too much. Maybe the Ghalta. I like the Ghalta's really cool, though, isn't it? It might be a little bit of a janky pick, as we really struggle to actually keep stuff in our hand, too, so... we could drop up Many Journeys down to 3 and go up the beanstalk. So Many Journeys, still early ramp, still early life game, but now we just have one extra way to keep our hands stocked up, to keep the big things rolling. And 5 or greater is a lot in here, and that includes like the Smuggler's Surprise, which we're trying to do at 6 mana as well. Let's put the up the beanstalk in and then kind of look at it and kind of decide from there, because like the first, when you're looking at it like this and you add the one-ofs like the Bushwhack and the up the beanstalk, and we already have one-ofs between Green Sun's Twilight, Silverback, and Ghalta too. When you're looking at it, it looks like a mess, but then maybe it is a mess, honestly, because we're looking at the curve here, and you have to rearrange onto the board for the Greater Tanuki and the Spinewoods Armadillo's abilities. Trying to like visualize how that curve would look based on the numbers. We have 9 here, we have 8 here. So a little bit better, and then we're trying to completely bypass the 4. We're trying to ramp past the 4 right into the 5s. If we're not ramping past the 4, you got the plot on the Brawler too. And if you completely ramp out past that point too, you're trying to ramp into those 6 drops too, of course, being the Smuggler's Surprise. Drop a couple things from your hand onto the board. I don't know, man. Maybe I don't want to, yeah, I can't blame the luck. I was going to say, like, maybe we got unlucky today. I think it's just me being a little bit silly here, wanting the deck to work a lot more than it actually did. I think that's the truth of the matter, right? But we could still make it a little bit better. And I obviously put it on the do not craft list. I think we could, if we go up the beanstalk, I think we can successfully drop like Silverback Elder. Remember, if you drop something on the top end, that's one less thing that's actually going to draw with up the beanstalk. Hold on. Mana value 5 or greater, that includes additional costs, right? So that should work with Smuggler's Surprise. Yes, right? Oh no, I'm not really sure right now for some reason. Guys, let me know in the comments. Hopefully I'm not going up the beanstalk for nothing. Maybe I am, because maybe like a 3rd Trailblazer would be better anyways. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to skip the up the beanstalk for now, but this is 110% something to consider. It's also uncommon too, so that's something to consider. Outside of that, this is very much a do not craft list. This is very, very janky. We do have some of these rotating out, right? In the upcoming month. Yeah, Azusa's Many Journeys is going to rotate soon. Greater Tanuki as well. Luckily, those are commons and uncommons. Outside of that, oh yeah, it's relatively safe as far as rotation goes. Other than that, there's a lot of mythics. So that's probably in and of itself not... Wow, there is a lot of mythics. Railway Brawler's a mythic too. Honestly, too bad. Railway Brawler's such a cool card. Who Endures also rotating too. So yeah, put it on the do not craft list for sure. It was way too janky, struggled way too much against the meta, but hey, I mean, if you got a lot of the cards and maybe you're thinking, I did get a little unlucky, well, maybe try it out. Or something similar to this, right? I think the Spinewoods Armadillo is going to make a lot more of my cuts. Yeah, a lot more of my ramp lists especially. So it's basic land or desert. Okay, yeah. I think this is going to be a 4 of and a lot more of my list just to try it out more. I'm kind of a sucker for cards that are like, I do the thing, but then also, here's 3 life, buddy. There you go. And like, I really like cards like that. So yeah. All right, cool. Hey, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video for a real y'all are champions, make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. All righty. I will see you in the next video.